Thank you, Howard.
Thank you for convening this hearing and for this opportunity for citizens of Portland to express their concerns and interests on this subject. As I would like to say, I've just written notes. I'm the executive director of Living Earth, which is a Portland peace and cultural change organization for the last 12 years. And I would like to say that, of course, there's general consensus that current conditions require that we pay serious attention to issues of public safety and terror. But that very attention also presents its own serious dangers, and the consolidation of power that is wielded now by expanded intelligence services in conjunction with police and quasi-military forces is a very grave concern, a very grave threat to the principles and practices on which our society is founded. Maintaining the civil liberties that are the foundation of democracy, of any democracy. In order to do that, nothing is really more crucial than for elected civilian oversight of local police forces and clean lines of communication and accountability so that the officers who are public employees are directly accountable to communicate fully with their elected supervisors, who are in turn directly accountable to the people. That is the nature of the foundation of our society and of our country. Stripping that away under the guise of protecting us is an oxymoron. It's a contradiction in terms. So this doesn't detract from the fact that there are indeed those individuals who would like to harm other people. Somehow the issues of race and ethnicity are skewing what the federal agencies at least seem to be doing, and what the JTTF, I guess the Oregon JTTF that was alluded to, somehow they missed the Turnidges, who managed to put a bomb in a bank. There are just any number of reasons why this whole discussion needs to be approached with such incredible attention to maintaining the rights and responsibilities of citizens rather than empowering this overarching network of intelligence and security forces. So for those reasons, I encourage this commission to recommend against entering into a memorandum of agreement with the JTTF with the FBI.
My name is Ray Harris. I'm the president of Iraq Veterans Against the War here in Oregon. A very wise man once said that he who would trade liberty for security deserves neither. And that's exactly what the FBI is promising. They're promising this illusion of security, an illusion of security in exchange for our liberty. They're supposed to protect us from terrorists. I have spent hours upon hours, for weeks on end, kicking in doors, rounding up families at gunpoint, in search of these terrorists. They do not exist. They do not exist. If America wants to take any steps to mitigating or alleviating the terrorist threat, legitimate terrorist threat, non-FBI sponsored terrorist threat, we need to change the foreign policy. And that's it. It's ironic that I'm sitting here in front of the Human Rights Commission debating whether or not I should allow my security to be compromised, my liberty to be compromised, while I know, and you should all know right now, that somewhere right now, far away, a human being is undergoing a horrible, undeserved death on your dime. And we wonder why people want to blow us up. Come on. One glaringly evident fact is the fact that the JTTF, joining the JTTF, will not make the city any safer. It was the November 26, 2010 Pioneer Square bomb plot that brought this possible policy change to public eye in recent weeks. In that case, 19-year-old Mohammed Osman Mohammed is accused of plotting a terrorist attack under the supervision of the FBI. Nothing prevented the FBI from successfully coordinating with the city in that instance, not even the absence of the JTTF. If we compare that incident with one that occurred several days later, about 2,354 miles away in Baltimore, Maryland, we see a shockingly similar incident with one major difference. Antonio Martinez, aka Mohammed Hassan, a 21-year-old who recently converted to Islam, is alleged to have carried out the attempted bombing of a military recruiting station on December 8, 2010, while also working with the FBI. This is most astounding, as Baltimore is a participant in the JTTF. In fact, more state agencies actively participate in the JTTF operations in Baltimore than Oregon agencies have ever done in Portland. And is it really fair if the only terrorists that the FBI can protect us from are the ones that they create? I yield the balance of my time.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you repeat your name, please?
Betsy Toll.
My name is Shani Geigen-Teller, and I'm a community organizer at Sisters of the Road. Thanks again for hearing us today. I have to be honest and say that I was prepared for a breakout session type of deal like we went to a few weeks ago with the city, so I don't have actual testimony prepared, but just wanted to let you know that we're here. So we just wanted to let you know that there are 7 of us here today representing the Civil Rights Work Group at Sisters of the Road and our community. Our work group is made up of people housed and unhoused who work to protect our civil and human rights. A lot of people think of Sisters as a really friendly cafe that serves good food to people surviving poverty and homelessness, which of course we are, but people often don't hold on the same esteem the fact that we are a community who cares about social justice. What that means to us, though, what social justice means to us, is that all people have the right to homes, health care, healthy food, education, and safety. To us, safety comes in part from our civil rights being upheld. People experiencing homelessness are very familiar with being targeted by local laws and local law enforcement. They understand being targeted for their class and social status. It's not a stretch for our community to understand how possible it is for the government to target, oppress, be violent towards, and incarcerate people because of their race, political beliefs, or religion. We see it every day on a smaller but still very impactful scale. So that's why we're here. Sisters of the Road asks you to stand up for human rights and civil rights today and tell the City Council to say no to state oppression and vote against the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the technical.
That's okay.
Next we have Martin Gonzalez and Jason Esther.
Again, my name is Martin Gonzalez. I want to thank the commissioners again for having this hearing and for this opportunity to speak. I wasn't sure that I was actually going to be able to make it. A few years ago, many of us testified against the Portland police joining the Joint Terrorism Task Force. My concern is that, we're here again repeating the same history and somewhat, reminding, myself that, people say that, if we don't pay attention to the history, we're bound to repeat it in a worse way. And I speak to you today as someone that grew up, watching TV, black and white TV, El FBI, the FBI with different symbols unit, and always the FBI being the good guys. Of course, learning in the process while growing up or reading in terms of some of the other actions that the FBI was taking with folks in the community, particularly with activists trying to bring about social change in this country, and the story changed a little bit in regards to what we expected from the FBI. one of the concerns that I have, having worked with the American Friends Service Committee for 18 years, and finding out in the newspaper, the Portland Tribune, that some files were discovered that were gathered from, about our organization, the American Friends Service Committee, at that point by police officers, later found in a garage. These files were gathered in terms of intelligence files in regards to activities, peaceful activities. I mean, for those people that do not know, the American Friends Service Committee has been in existence since 1917 as a peace and justice organization, promoting, believing in the power of love and nonviolence to bring about change. So to see people like Brian Tinker, Bob Smith, and others, and files gathered about them, about their activities, to end war elsewhere, it was quite disturbing, I think, for our organization. And for having the Portland Police being part of that was something that was not acceptable. I think the reality of what we have today is one, that there is a need for the Portland Police to build this credibility in regards to the trust again of the community to be able to say, look, we're not going to abuse our power. The unfortunate part about joining this Joint Terrorism Task Force is that it places them in a mindset where many people, including people that have been part of my life, as enemies of the state. And that's a real fine line. And we all of us that have been, peace activists or support liberation movements elsewhere in the world, understand that there's a real fine line, and that those of us are very clear when you are, opposing the state, there are some repercussions. We are and have been willing to take those. But this is not about that. This is about, the fact that the FBI agents, in their own words, after, a meeting that you had at the Human Relations Office in Portland, stated that, look, the reality is, if there's crime, real crime, criminal activity going on, the Portland Police is going to cooperate with the FBI whether or not they have this memorandum of understanding or whether they are part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We need to make sure that there is a separation of the responsibilities and role to build credibility and trust within the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jason Kirsten. I'm also a member of the Civil Rights Group with Sisters in the Road. I'm also an Iraqi vet. I remember back when I took my oath, I swore to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I don't ever remember being relieved of that oath now. To this day, I would still defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, but I don't see one here. I see the Joint Terrorism Task Force is a threat to our community and to this first city we all call home. I've been learning about civil rights and all that only for the last few months. But I've learned enough to know that if we don't even know that our officers are going to be disciplined properly for doing things that they screw up on, then why do we need another organization doing something we can't even handle it here? I stand against the JTTF. We all do too.
Thank you.
One other person is saying.